Hey, Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Coach here. Excited to bring in your weekly collective reading for the week of June 16th through the 22nd. If you are interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Soul Tribe, you have here soul lessons at the bottom of the deck. This is the underlining energy that is taking precedence this week. This is about inner growth, karma. It is about you learning from past experiences and taking what you've learned and applying them to your current situation, which means you have gained wisdom here. You have taught yourself how to be strong. You've taught yourself the art of determination here, but also I feel like you didn't give up. There's something here about not giving up, even on the days that you didn't want to get out of bed, or even on those days that may have been very difficult or very challenging. I feel like you kept showing up for yourself, for your dreams, for your family, and I have a feeling something huge is shifting here for you, and it may have something to do with the summer solstice energy that is taking place on Saturday, winter solstice for those of you in the southern hemisphere. But the sun also enters Cancer on Saturday as well, which brings in emotional nourishment. It's about the home, it's about the family. So you may be taking a look at soul food. What are you filling your life with? What are you filling your body, your mind, and your spirit with? And you may have gone through important lessons in order for you to figure that out. And I see here that you may have even had some karmic cycles or karmic relationships that you've gone through here. But the fact that there's tea, on this illustration tells me that you've learned a lot. And it's like this week, it feels like you're sitting down with an old friend. Some of you, this is going to be literal. For others of you, I definitely see that you're connecting to your spirit guides, your angels. And it's like sitting down with an old friend here and having a heart to heart, drinking a cup of tea and really talking about life. Maybe catching up on some stuff that had happened in the past and really connecting to your own guides. If this isn't an actual person, it just feels like that's the vibe of the week where you're kind of having a sit down and you're saying, all right, I know where I've been, right? But it's time for me to consider my next move. It's time for me to consider where I wish to be. And it reminds me of the judgment here in tarot, because a lot of you have gone through a bit of a rebirth. And I feel like you now have this self-awareness here. There's a second chance coming in for you, Soul Tribe. And I feel like you are doing a little bit of a review or an assessment of the past, of where you've been, because you are going to take those lessons with you in order to help give you the push, the inspiration that you need to keep on going and opening up new doorways, new portals, because some of you have something really beautiful that you're on the cusp of. And I feel like it is happening here during this season. So yes, we are shifting into a new season here, all of us all over the world. And you are really taking a look at what emotionally nourishes you on all levels. So diving into Monday, June 16th, we have a bit of a conflict here, a bit of a tug of war. But this is conflict that can be resolved. It's more like the Five of Wands than the Five of Swords, which is good, because this can be a little bit of mental conflict going back and forth within the confinements of your own mind. Perhaps you are weighing up some choices or decisions this Monday. I feel like there's something pulling at your heartstrings for some of you, and it could be a decision around family. It could be a decision around your home life. And this is also about overcoming those obstacles. As it says here, solutions. So this could be a day where you wake up, you've slept on something here, and maybe you wake up and you have a solution, or you have more clarity about what you want to do or how you want to proceed moving forward. This is also about taking a look at triggers, taking a look at those triggers, because to me, triggers are actually beneficial because they let us know where we may have some unprocessed emotions or where we need to look a bit further into. So oftentimes we look at those triggers, and what do? We get triggered and our old defense mechanisms show up. But because you have learned something very important here of the past, right? That's why you have soul lessons. You don't have to repeat this. You don't have to continue fighting. It feels like there has been a bit of a sacrifice, okay? That hanged man energy. There's been a bit of a sacrifice here, but it feels like there's an ending coming in here. But you know what they say about endings? When one door closes, another opens. And I feel like this new opportunity or new beginning has already started to crack the door open for you. So it does feel like there's a solution here. There's a little bit of light coming in where there's a newfound sense of hope. There's a newfound sense of determination, and above all, it feels like there's freedom. There's liberation from something. I'm getting the devil in my mind's eye. So for some of you, this is letting go of bondage, maybe something that has kept you feeling like you are a prisoner in some way. Perhaps it was the confinements or restraints in your own mind, right? Obsessing about something. Perhaps it was codependent dynamics or manipulation of some sort, maybe materialism or anything that tempts us to distract us from our goals, from our dreams, or even tends to come in and want to sabotage our happiness, our success, and even our relationships. It just feels like someone may be letting go of that rope. Someone may be saying, is this worth the fight? Now, if it's worth it to you, I feel like you are going to re-examine where you're at instead of constantly tugging on that, rope back and forth. It feels like you're finding solutions instead of exhausting your resources and banging your head against the wall. This is the day where you're going to say, okay, it's a fresh day. It's a fresh week. It's Monday. I am going to find some solutions, and we're going to work together if this is between you and another individual. Now, for those of you who have been feeling like you've been going in circles for days, for weeks, for months, and even years, it just feels like because this Cancerian energy is ushering in this week, you're really taking a look at what nourishes you emotionally and spiritually. And if it doesn't, I feel like some of you are letting go of the rope here. So all in all, Monday, there may be some opposing views. There may be some new views with that hanged man that's coming to mind. You may start to see something from an angle or a side or even a higher perspective where you weren't able to see it from that perspective in the past. Why? Because you were in the midst of going through some soul lessons. And now you know better. And I always say when we know better, we can do better. And that's what you're doing here. You're saying, all right, I have some newfound wisdom here. And we gain wisdom by taking the experiences that we've gone through, the lessons. I always like to describe it as going to school or maybe taking a class. Let's say you take a class, a Reiki class, to get certified as a Reiki 1 practitioner. Right? So you take that class and you have this newfound sense of knowledge around what Reiki is and how to use it. And then you go home. You have the choice to take what you've learned and apply it to your everyday life, or to leave it at the class, leave it at the workshop, and maybe never do Reiki again. Maybe you never really think about it too much, or you don't do anything with it. That happens all the time where we have something that inspires us and we are like, yes, we're going to use it in our everyday life and this is going to be great, but then we don't do anything with it. I feel like you are different here, Soul Tribe. There's something that you have learned and you are going to do something with it here. So whether this is pertaining to your health. Maybe there's something new you've learned about your health. Perhaps those onions that you used to love eating, maybe they no longer align with you. And instead of continuously eating them and maybe causing some sort of bloat or, onions are really good for you. It's just an example here. But there may be a food that no longer, makes your body happy. And you have the choice here to say, okay, I can keep eating them, but I know that they're not helping. So it just feels like you're shifting here perspectives. It feels like you're taking something that you know and you're doing something with it. All right, moving into Tuesday, June 17th, we have soul purpose. So this is a day where you're sitting with some of your thoughts, some of your ideas, maybe even some of the breakthroughs or solutions that you've come up with here on Monday. And you may be really discovering some new direction here, some new path. I also see for some of you, you may be contemplating going on a spiritual retreat or a trip. Perhaps this is a solo vacation. Maybe you are going with friends or family, but you're definitely moving here in a new direction, either literally here, physically. I see you moving. I'm getting strong chariot energy. So you may be wanting to really find your focus here and quieting the mind as well. I feel like there may be a lot of activity, a lot going on, and this would be a really wonderful day to meditate. Get outside by the water if you can, get out in your garden if you have one. And maybe even speak to a trusted friend, a loved one, or a therapist. This is a good day to journal and really come back to yourself. And if you are working on a lot of projects today, or if you have a lot going on in your work life, don't forget to stop and pause and check in with yourself, because again, it is going to be a very emotional week for a lot of us. And I see here that you've been searching for meaning. You've been really asking the universe some of the more difficult questions. You've been asking your higher self some of those difficult questions. And I see that I just keep getting the message over and over that you're doing something with what you know. You may have even had a divine download, and you may be taking that download and saying, okay, this is what my intuition has been telling me. This is what my guides have been guiding me to do. Maybe it's changing up your diet. It could be changing up your career. It could be adding a splash to, a relationship here, spicing something up, whatever it is that you've been wanting to do. Maybe you've been wanting to dip your toes in the water in some way, get back out there. I feel like you are taking everything into consideration on Tuesday, and come Wednesday, I feel like you are feeling the love. I'm getting the song here, Where's the Love? Okay, Where's the Love? I'm not sure who the singer is, but it feels like that's maybe a part of a question that you've been asking this week is, where's the love? Is the love still there? Do I still love what I do? Do I still love being in this relationship dynamic? Am I taking care of and loving myself? So you have self-love coming up here on Wednesday, June 18th. Now, this is about compassion, rest, acceptance, self-care, healing, and going within. But what I'm getting here is the King and the Queen of Wands energy, which is interesting because you'd think I'd be seeing the cups, but I am getting wands. So this tells me that some of you are attracting. The wands are very magnetic, and wands are also about, creativity and passion. It may be around your career or your projects. You may feel inspired here because when you're tuning into the portal of your heart, when you open up that heart chakra, anything is possible. Anything is possible here. And I feel like you are allowing yourself to feel everything today. So I almost get a release. Like a lot of you are going to have a huge release, or there's going to be some feel-good conversations. It could even be tears, a release through tears, a release through a really great workout. It feels like there's been a little bit of pent up or channeled energy that you may be hitting a peak on Wednesday here. And I feel like you're channeling it into an act of self-love instead of suppressing, instead of denying, instead of, shoving something back down into our bodies, which can create dis-ease, also known as disease. It feels like you are bringing more confidence to the table here. Yeah, you're bringing more confidence to the table. This does remind me of Cancerian energy. Now, with that King and the Queen of Wands that was showing up, a lot of you are highly magnetic this week, but I also feel with that Cancerian energy, you are going within and you're attracting based on the newfound energies that you are emitting. So it feels like there's a level of attraction here where Thursday rolls in. Thursday, June 19th, you start to see gifts. This may show up in the form of a new opportunity. For some of you, this is going to be spiritual gifts that show up. I feel like you also are going to receive a surprise. It feels like there's a surprise for some of you. I mean, there could even be a birthday on this date or maybe someone's birthday week here, but it feels like there's a massive surprise here, a celebration. Some of you don't see this coming, and for others of you, you will. Okay, and actually they're highlighting the candle, so I'm just going to talk about this candle for a quick moment. For those of you who have not spotted this beautiful candle, it smells so delicious. It's actually a citrus mojito carnelian candle from Healing Light Soy Candles. They are 100% vegan. They're made and farmed in the USA. They have a lot of cute little crystals here, carnelians, and the makers offer a blend of beautiful candles. So check them out. I will link the information in the description box below for your convenience, but someone could be gifted a candle. All right. Someone may have a candle going right now as you're listening to this. And I'm also getting ear chakras as well as nose. So some of you could be smelling and even hearing things that could be enhanced for you this week. Now, we also have gratitude. This is an attitude of gratitude here, Soul Tribe. So it feels like you have gone through situations in the past that have humbled you. It feels like you have gone through experiences that have actually made you a kinder yet wiser individual. And sometimes we feel stuck or we feel like we're struggling with where the world is going at times. Sometimes we feel like, okay, are there still good people out there? And I see that this Thursday, you're going to receive some sort of evidence, some sort of proof that the world is a beautiful place, that we can have faith in humanity here. It feels like, yes, this is going to be more personalized for some of you, and for others of you, it's going to be on a larger scale where you could have a complete stranger pay for your coffee, right? You may have someone open the door for you. There could be a really beautiful compliment that comes in this Thursday. So be open to receptivity, be open to receiving compliments, to receiving gifts, and to receiving information, because there could be information that comes through that opens the door towards a new opportunity in any area of your life. So on Friday here, as we roll into the weekend, we have some R&R, beautiful energy here. This is about time out, downtime, healing, recovery. This is about you relaxing. So a lot of you are going to have a very relaxing, quiet Friday night in. You may be enjoying your Friday with making some food, maybe making some good food for your family. There may even be a date night. For others of you, you may be attending someplace that feels peaceful. All right, it does feel peaceful. And I'm also getting game night. Some of you could even be hosting or planning a game night where you play cards or board games. But I also see a lot of you are planning, again, it feels spiritual in nature. So some of you could be going on a spiritual retreat, or maybe you are planning to do some like yoga in the park. But it feels like Friday night is a night to just relax and be and take a little bit of a load off. So I wouldn't do anything too strenuous this Friday as we near that solstice energy. You may even be doing some rituals around this time. Perhaps you are, getting out in nature. You could even be attending maybe a singing bowl or drumming circle. This could be a bonfire for some of you. You see all of the beautiful ladies there connecting, holding space for each other. You could be getting together with someone and quite literally be having dinner or drinks or meeting for breakfast or coffee the next morning. But it looks like you're going into the weekend feeling more ease and feeling like you're right where you need to be. And so we dive into Saturday. Saturday, the day the sun enters Cancer, which you're probably already feeling it throughout the week, but this is about body talk. Saturday is all about the body. So self-love again showing up here, Soul Tribe. This is about exercise, mental health, body image, and chakra healing. So for a lot of you, this is going to be a weekend of self-care. It could be a weekend that you spend time with others as well, but it could be doing something that you love, because in both of these images, for both Friday and Saturday, you see that there's a group of people. So even if you are at home doing your thing, you could be tapping into the collective energies. Maybe you're listening to music or you're listening to a podcast here. Perhaps you are joining like an online Zoom call, connecting to other females or other individuals here who may share the same goals or maybe share common energy or background as you of some sort. But it does look like this Saturday, you are focusing on mental health. You are focusing on creating a better life for yourself and being more uplifted, feeling like you are embracing conversations around either home and family, but these conversations bring you nourishment. These conversations fulfill you in some way, because again, Cancerian energy is all about taking care of oneself. And we see that showing up time and time again this week. So you're really focusing on that heart energy, the cups, right? The cups are about relationships and feelings and emotions and even intimacy. So you may be connecting to other people and feeling more intimate with them as well. This is a very intimate energy. Now, because I see some swimsuits here, perhaps some of you may be going swimming, maybe you're going to a spa, you may be spending time out on the water or on a boat, maybe you're going floating or tubing, pontooning, kayaking, paddleboarding, because we do see the water showing up on a couple of these cards. So water could be very significant, and also water rules Cancer. So definitely stay hydrated, listen to your body, listen to what it needs, and don't be afraid to say no if you need to say no, and don't be afraid to, be vulnerable and embrace conversations that may feel more intimate, because you may realize that you connect and bond to someone on a deeper level. And then on Sunday here, I love this. We have the law of attraction. Beautiful. We're still feeling the effects here of some of the planetary shifts taking place this week. And this is a strong manifesting. And I said that earlier, I was getting the King and Queen of Wands. So a lot of you are attracting, and I said that earlier too, attracting versus chasing. This is about receptive energy and allowing things to work out for you. And maybe that was part of that divine pause, that hanged man energy, because some of you may have felt like you were sacrificing something here, or you may have just felt like things were a little bit delayed or hung up, but it feels like this season is significant for everyone. So it feels like the next 3 months, you are really aligning with this beginning. Remember that cracked door that I was sensing earlier? It feels like over the next 3 months, that door is swinging wide open, and you may be fully closing the door here to that old chapter. It may even be an old version of yourself, or even a version of yourself that didn't feel very confident. It feels like you're building more confidence regarding your career or regarding a relationship and regarding your health. There's a lot more confidence coming in here, positive affirmations, maybe starting to work. You're starting to see the evidence here of positivity in your world because you yourself are emitting those frequencies. This is highly magnetic. You may even create a vision board at this time. I love when this card shows up because then we got to talk about vision boards here for a moment. And I am getting here the colors of green. Sometimes spirit will give me like a certain quadrant of the board, but I'm getting the green color here. So if you do have a vision board, Soul Tribe, I want you to go look at that vision board, and anything that is green that stands out, I want you to come back here to this reading and drop it in the comment section. Let me know what is that's green on your vision board, because that could be something that is manifesting for you over the next 3 months. And I'll also enter you into the free reading giveaway. So you are definitely attracting here abundance, because that mindset of yours is remaining abundant. It's remaining grateful. You've learned from past lessons, and a lot of you are coming out of something that maybe you've been going through for quite some time, and you're definitely considering your next move. You're considering where you wish to be, because there may be a second chance here coming in, or there may be, again, that new beginning that I'm picking up on. And I feel like you're not giving up. A lot of you have went through the trenches is what I'm seeing here. I'm actually seeing army boots. It feels like trenches here. You may have gone to war. It feels like you have. I mean, some of you, maybe military calls you in some way, or it could resonate for you in some way. But I feel for a lot of you, you've gone through something that was very heavy. And you've learned so much about yourself and about others, and maybe even about the world. But I feel like there is a wish, there's something here aligning here for you, because I'm seeing stars, and not just one or two. I'm seeing a lot of stars. So don't give up on your hopes and dreams here, Soul Tribe, because Spirit is working its magic behind the scenes here. And you yourself are also meeting the universe halfway. And I see something aligning here that you are going to call in here within the next 3 months. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. If you do enjoy the message, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested again in these delicious smelling soy candles, I love them. And I'll just show you here another one, Emerald Coast Prehnite. Look at that, beautiful crystals inside of it. It just smells absolutely delicious. So again, there's a discount code with this in the description box below if you're interested. Thank you again so much for tuning in, and lots of love.